The Reagan administration's war on drugs is focused in Bolivia this week. That's where American military helicopters flown by U.S. pilots are assisting the Bolivian government. The helicopters will search for cocaine operations. But some critics of the plan say there was so much publicity about the effort that the drug manufacturers have had time to head for the hills. The Bolivian operation is one topic we discussed with the head of this country's drug enforcement agency today. John Lawn says the troops in Bolivia are part of President Reagan's strategy in the war on drugs, that of international cooperation.
This is the culmination of that part of that strategy.
Does it say anything about how successful your agency has been in Bolivia?
Our agency has been working in Bolivia for a considerable period of time. It says that the Bolivian government, in wanting to take firm action, knew that in soliciting the cooperation of the United States, they would receive it.
One of DEA's major efforts has been its crackdown in South Florida, a crackdown that has forced some traffickers to look for other importation sites. Does this look like an easy target for traffickers at this point, the Seattle area?
Certainly we see increased activity on the entire West Coast. Seattle, I don't think, is any more vulnerable to increased activity than any other growing city in the United States.
It seems as if one of the biggest problems with this is demand, that the demand continues to grow. No matter what law enforcement does, it can't solve all the problems, can it?
No, you're absolutely right. Law enforcement is critical to this operation. And law enforcement, I believe, has been doing a very effective job. But until we as a society move forward to do more in the area of demand reduction, our reduction of the supply will not be the ultimate answer to the abuse that this country brings itself to as far as drug abuse is concerned.
Here in Seattle, we've just recently seen a large increase in the amount of rock houses, crack as it's called, on the East Coast. What is your agency seeing nationwide with this new form of cocaine?
Crack is cocaine, and we must be careful not to focus so much on the one component of cocaine abuse in our country that we do something to diminish our overall enforcement mission against the cocaine, increasing cocaine problem that we see in this country.
Crack and rock have attracted a lot of attention in recent weeks because of the deaths of two well-known athletes. And the use of the drug is attracting the attention of crime statisticians. Just yesterday, it was revealed that crime here in Seattle was way up, with the biggest increases in burglary and thefts. Seattle Police Chief Patrick Fitzsimons says the rise in those types of crimes may be directly linked to the growing rock house business. As Hilda Bryant tells us in tonight's part of her special report, rock has become the drug of choice in this area in the past 6 months, a costly high that lures users into crime.
The heaviest crackdown on the booming rock cocaine business has been in the Rainier Valley. The police officers of the city's South Precinct decided the crisis called for a new approach. They formed an anti-crime team. In the past 6 weeks, this team has closed down 2/3 of the known rock houses in the area. Search warrants are up by 300%. Arrests have tripled. They've recovered more than $120,000 worth of stolen property and more than 70 weapons, mostly handguns. The team has seized more than $130,000 worth of cocaine. Much of the loot recovered in the rock house busts has been traced directly to previous burglaries.
Behind us last night, we found two $50 savings bonds that were the property of a lady that lives in the Heritage Village over here, obviously burglary loot. There were 8 guns in that the first night we were here. Last night we took 2 more guns from here.
Patrol Sergeant Chuck Pillon heads the new anti-crime team. He says cocaine dealers will take almost anything in trade for rock.
We used the phone to call the precinct, and the phone prefix on this telephone in the place was a 587 prefix, which is Seattle Schools. We had a stolen phone.
The most tragic example of trading property for the addictive rock is the case of the teenage prostitute who left her baby with a rock house dealer.
A young girl about 15 came in that rock house and left her little baby in there in lieu of payment for a couple of $40 rocks, and then went back out on the street to peddle her butt to make the money to get her child back.
The baby, innocent victim of the transaction, was returned to the girl when she paid the dope dealer $80, the price of her body. Hilda Bryant, KIRO, Eyewitness News.